So in this episode, I'll go into a bit of detail on what it was really like working there. So the first place I interned at was a really small agency in Nakameguro, and later they moved to Ebisu. They were a branding and web design agency. And I really didn't have a lot of experience in graphic design or in the Japanese language, actually. So first of all, communication was a bit of a problem. My boss could speak a little bit of English, which was helpful, but all in all, it was very tricky. I didn't do a lot, but I really learned a lot, especially about web design. So my boss would have these mini lessons he would give me, and I would sit and watch him work and just kind of shadow him. And apart from him teaching me a bit about web design, he had this amazing collection of design books, and I would just sit and read up about Japanese design. And that's where I got a lot of exposure into how Japanese design works, what are the principles, who are the seminal designers. So I would always look through the books there. And he also gave me samples of his work, and he really helped me understand the importance of print in design as well, choosing paper, choosing an ink, processes like that. So I guess the very first internship I did was quite short, but it was definitely a learning experience. CEO and I kept contact, and I actually got my Japanese name from him. So we were having dinner with some friends of his, and they asked me if I had a Japanese name. I said no, and then they're like, oh, okay, well, your name is Lindie, Rinko. So they called me Rinko. Okay, so the second internship I did was at an agency called Compound. I'm sure it's okay for me to mention the name. Working at Compound was amazing. I have never learned so much in one internship. One of my clients was One Piece, the anime. So we designed merchandise for the One Piece Tokyo Tower store. So if you go to Tokyo Tower now, you can actually buy some things that I designed. So that was merchandise, those logos, little matchbox with stickers. That was a great learning experience because I got to attend meetings in Japanese, and I had to take the notes in Japanese as well. And my boss was really accommodating. He took me along to a lot of meetings with the JR Japanese Rail. I was able to attend meetings with them. I got to go to Tokyo Tower to attend meetings there with the One Piece team. Went to a leather manufacturer to meet with a guy who works with leather, and I was just exposed to so many amazing opportunities. What I really enjoyed about that internship was also the freedom I was given to just run with things. He would give me the concept, and he would just let me do it, and then I check in with him the next day or that afternoon. So I did a whole bunch of logo designs, and I really learned about the principles of Japanese calligraphy. That was quite a challenge for me. So I had to learn how to write that stuff, and oh man, I remember sitting late at night practicing Japanese calligraphy over and over and over, and I had no experience in this before, so definitely a huge learning curve. But this company was the best in terms of networking. So it was a shared office space between an architect's firm, a book editor, and then the graphic design studio. There were three of us in this little kind of open cubicle sharing the space with other people, and they had these crazy parties and networking events, and it was just so cool to get to know people there. And the third place I entered at is a big international branding agency called Landor, so it was their Japanese branch. They actually contacted me because I sent my details into another company, and both of those companies are under an umbrella company of some other branding agency. In any case, working at Landor was really good for me. Some of the staff spoke English, which made it a lot easier, but at that time, it was about 2016, end of 2015, beginning of 2016, winter. And my Japanese had improved by leaps and bounds, and I was able to attend meetings in Japanese. So going from an agency of 2 people to an agency of 30, 40, which is an international company, was quite a shift. But they did have an internship program. So I had a desk, I had a mentor. I really got to learn about Japanese company culture, which is very interesting. So Every morning they'd have a little stand-up and talk about what they do for the day. And I don't know if it was once a week or once a month, but they'd have osoji, which is cleaning time. And the office manager would be like, "Minasan, soji shimashou!" Like, everybody, let's clean! I was like, what's going on? And everybody would just like clean the office, which was pretty cool. And they had really fun stuff for the interns to do. Like, they had a chalkboard where every intern who goes there gets to do an artwork on the chalkboard. One of the designs I did there was a packaging design for Calpis, the fizzy drink, the mochi drink in Japan. Calpis, Calpico, you know them. And it was a kisetsu gente, which is a seasonal limited edition product. It was the saoyaka raichi, so the fresh lychee flavor. We would sit together in the office and sketch some concepts within like 3 or 5 minutes. Sketch, put it all together up on a wall and discuss which concepts were working well. Then we would digitize it, put it into a template, and tweak, and eventually it went out into the market and was sold in convenience stores. And I think I interned at Landor for a whole month, so that was definitely cool. And it was the end of the year, so we had the Christmas parties and bonenkais, and it was just really fun. And the one thing they made me do was a lot of presentations. So I had to do a presentation at the start introducing myself, which I did all in Japanese, which was really a learning experience for me. And obviously I had to learn Keigo, which is honorific Japanese. Working in a Japanese environment, hearing Japanese around me every day was really helped me learn the language a lot faster than I would if I were just learning about it by myself. And then the very last internship I did was only for a day, and it was a very, very strange situation. Not gonna mention names, but I contacted this lady and I was a huge fan of her company's work, and she said, "Oh my goodness, foreigner internship, yes please, can you come for a day and we can meet you and then go from there?" So I was like, awesome, that is great, let me come. And I spent the day there. I did some graphic design work, translation work, illustration work, and more translation work. And once the day ended, she didn't really say much about the possibility of an internship. She did contact me, but with more requests to do more translation work. So over the course of a few days or weeks, I kept doing translation work for her. Number one, I'm not a translator. Number two, I was hoping there would be design work. And then after a while, I did the very non-Japanese thing of being very confrontational, and I told her, I'm really sorry to put this on you, but I really want to know, is there still a possibility of doing an internship, because I can't keep doing free translation work for you. And she said, "No, our company is really small and we want to keep it that way, and you would do great at a big company." I was like, why didn't you tell me from the first day? So obviously maybe something was wrong, maybe my skills weren't good enough or my language ability wasn't good enough, but I really do value the opportunity and the exposure I got to the graphic design community in Japan. And I'm very grateful for her for taking me in for the day. Completing those three and a half internships was awesome, and I'd highly recommend you to just step out of your comfort zone. If you want to do something, go for it. I was in tears in front of my dad. I'm like, I'm so scared, I can't do this, can't speak Japanese, can't design, but it all worked out. Like, you managed to communicate, everything was done in Japanese and I felt fine. Stepping out of your comfort zone is definitely the first step to having great memories. Okay, so that's it for this episode. See you guys in the next one. Bye!